know that it sounds very similar to another Detroit native, and that was when I interviewed Elder Barge, and he was very complimentary of his older brother, Bobby,
Right.
about he used to just write 13 verses in a song, and Bobby taught him the structure and stuff. And it's very
That's right.
fascinating how much older siblings play a part in teaching you and honing those skills at that early age.
Yeah.
At the time then, but then if Prince was the sort of the blueprint of wow, you can write, produce, sing, and perform all the instruments vocally, who was the person that you sort of leaned to when you were sort of crafting your singing voice as a child, as a
Well,
teenager?
when it came to vocals, Prince, when you think about Prince as an artist, he was very vocally expansive, far as ranges. Like Prince speaking voice was like Barry White,
Yeah, yeah, I've
you
heard,
know.
yeah.
Like when I would talk to him on the phone, it was the funniest thing because I knew on the other end he was sitting there with in full makeup, glitter on his face and everything, but his voice was like Barry White. And as you know, he could sing in very low register all the way up to a very clear falsetto and everything in between. So with the thing about vocal range is you have to find your range, right? So I would any voice that I heard that I liked, I could mimic the voice, like if I was
Mm,
singing the song, right? So I
mm.
remember in marching band, I used to sing for the girls on the piano. I would sing Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson, right? So what I learned at a very early age was that wow, the voice is an instrument that can be manipulated in so many different ways. There's so many
Mm.
different tones and different like vocal acrobatics that you can do. And my whole thing was my focus was I just wanted to craft this really interesting tone of voice that was easy for me to access and easy for me to sing repeatedly because I was always aware of the asthma issues. So that means breathing issues, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's one of the main reasons why I was never a person as an artist that was going to be on stage dancing. I was like, no,
Okay.
I can't do that. Like that would not have been a good move for me. So I knew that the instruments that I played, that I could do this well off into my old age, as long as I could sit down and pick up an instrument, I'm good.
Oh, okay. So for you then it was
That's why I
okay.
didn't do that.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
okay. So hence you didn't go the Michael Jackson route. You kind of went there. Okay.
That's right.
What about the opportunity to play as a sort of in school? You know, a lot of us from the outside would see American artists. I think especially the artists that came out in the 90s, they were honing their skills in church while some were doing it in school. For yourself, if because it
Right.
feels as if the competition is there, it feels as if the excellence is there. So you kind of almost if you can do it in those environments, you can do it anywhere. For yourself, where was your honing of those skills before when you were teenager and learning how to sing and perform?
Well, me and my brother Joe were like, um, we were such re we fell in the category of being a recluse, right? To the point where I have three brothers, there's four of us. But in our neighborhood, people thought that my mom only had three boys because me and my brother Joe would never be seen leaving together or coming home. So it would like if I left out, then someone would see him come in. They thought me and my brother Joe was the same person because we look a lot alike.
Okay.
But my brother is like twice my size. He's a very muscular guy. If you can imagine me, just imagine me how I would look on steroids and I'm all buffed up. That was my brother. And so, but back then we were relatively the same size, but we look a lot alike. We almost look like twins. So we spent a lot of time inside and I wasn't the kind of kid that was at a certain point. Once I started dabbing with music, I wasn't outside a lot.
Wow.
So I had a lot of time to experiment. And then we were always sort of involved in some type of jazz fusion band or something. And then I would get my hands on like if I could convince that the whoever was running the band, if we could do the rehearsals at my place, at my mom's place, then the equipment would stay there. And then that gave me an opportunity to um, sort of like dabble with things and figure things out. And that's where I honed skills. It was just like I would find myself in my basement, a bunch of equipment, and then I would figure it out. No
Wow.
instruction booklet. I would just by trial and error. That's it.
I mean, so if you go back to that time, then what was the thoughts longer term? Was it just as a way of keeping out of trouble, being out on the streets, and this is a fun little hobby? But when I grow up, I'm going to go work in a bank. What was at when you were a
Oh no,
teenager?
absolutely. Like here was my approach. Before the age of 15, I was like, I'm going to school for architecture design, right? Because that was a natural gift that we knew that we had from our father. My father was a visual artist, but
Oh,
our father was also a musician and a theater actor. We didn't know about the musician or the theater actor aspect until after we started playing instruments. And then our father came over one day and could actually sit down at the keyboard and play better than we could. Then we were like, oh, that's where that came from, you know? So
okay.
yeah, that was so I had decided that by the time I was 15 years old, I remember my band teacher, Mr. Nicholson, he was an awesome man. He said, "So young man, are you going to college?" I said, "Look, I'm not. I changed my mind. I have another plan." He says, "What's the plan?" I said, "Listen, it's by the time it takes all of my classmates to graduate high school, go to college, study, and for whatever the degree it is that they want to do, whatever they want to do in life." I said, in that same amount of time, I will be a professional in the music business. I told him that at age 15. And he kind of chuckled at me, but like almost just like, okay, young man, you got some audacity. But he wasn't laughing at me like because I
Yeah.
was the one student in the marching band that when he had an external gig outside of school where he had to go and play the song Danny Boy on trumpet. And
Mm.
he asked me to play piano for him. And I did. At 15 years old, there I was playing, accompanying my band teacher at a like a public gig, right? It was really I was nervous, but it was cool though. But I told him that's what I was going to do. So I graduated high school in 1993, and by March, no, I graduated high school in 1989. By 1993, March of 1993, I was in Atlanta, you know? So, and the way that that came about was Tim and Bob.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind of.
And somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay.
They don't understand what those boys do in the hospital.
Play it.
These guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.